Hi, this is Steph with Belladonna Dyes, and today we're going to make a colander gravity spiral. First, I'm going to start off by sharing with you my inspiration for finally getting around to making one of these colander gravity dies myself. Angela Chardy, and you can find her over on Facebook at Sunshine Dyes. She's our tie-dye friend. She and I did a shirt swap. I made her daughter that cute little hemostat flower, the little lavender one, and she made me this single color ice dye in the color Stormy Skies. And I think Stormy Skies is from Pro Chemical. It's obviously very beautiful. All right, now let's get into my version. First, smooth out as many wrinkles as you can, and then decide where you want the center of your spiral to be and give it a little pinch. And for this one, I'm using a modified fork. It's a fork that I got from the dollar store. I bent 2 of the tines backwards and out of the way, and it works pretty much exactly like a hemostat. I give the fork a couple of twists, and then with the microwave splatter guard, I use my opposite hand to create the pleats and create the spiral. I do not keep twisting the fork. You guys pay attention to that. I keep getting asked why your spirals aren't turning out. I think it's because you're twisting your hemostat or you're twisting the fork. No, 2 or 3 twists, the opposite hand does all the work. Go as far as you can using the microwave splatter guard until you just can't go any farther. Hold down the center of the spiral and gently wiggle out the fork. Now, I like to secure my spirals by using rubber bands, and this is a very large spiral, so I'm using my favorite rubber bands, and they're the ones that are stretched out, and they're stretched out because I applied heat at one point and they didn't snap back to their original size, and they work perfectly for a project like this. And then I'm tucking in all of my loose tails, creating a nice tight spiral. That way I'm able to pick it up, move it around, place it on the colander without it falling apart on me. For my set, I'm using one of my regular totes, and then I just got this little waste basket up at the dollar store, and I went into the closet and I found this old colander, and I would say it's considered the large size colander. I undo my rubber bands and I just let the sides fall down onto the colander. Now they really didn't fall down that much because I created such a nice tight spiral, so I'm just helping it along a little bit, trying to loosen up the spiral just a little bit. I don't want to overdo it and overwork it. Next, using a washable marker, I mark out my pattern. Now it's time for the fun part and my favorite part. We get to add the dye. And for this project, I'm using all of Dharma's special order dye colors. And where you can find small amounts of special order dyes is over on Facebook at Tie-Dye Supplies Marketplace. There are a lot of people in there selling just small amounts of dye, that way you don't have to buy 5 pounds of it. And I'm adding the dye in little thin stripes. A little is going to go a long way for this project. When I originally saw this done in Facebook like a year ago, people were using minimal amounts of dye, and so I thought I'm going to just try to get back to that technique. And now I'm using my hexacubes, and these worked perfectly for this project. I was able to build a nice secure base because they lock into each other. The geometric pattern, they just fit well. It was perfect for this. And I do have links down below in the description box for these ice trays, and along with everything else that I use for tie-dye, so make sure you check that out. And I used 1 ice tray for this project. That's all it needed. After I got all the ice on it, I did add a thin layer of soda ash, but I did not record that, sorry. And then I let the ice melt, and I really had to resist the urge to add more ice. I wanted to see what it was going to do with just that one layer of the hexacubes. And then I'm covering it with foil because I took this project outside and I set it in the sun. And it's recommended that you let your projects batch for 24 hours after the ice melts. For this project, I let it batch for the full 48 hours. So I just set it outside, left it alone, and came back, and this is what it looked like. So next we're going to get into the rinse out. For the rinse out, you want to start by using cold water. That's going to rinse away any soda ash that might still be reacting within the fabric, and then increase your water up to hot and rinse until the water runs pretty much clear. Now I'm trying to protect white in this project, so I want to make sure to get all of that soda ash out before increasing the water up to hot, because I don't want any of the loose dye to potentially backstain onto the white. From here, I take it to the washing machine, and I like to do hot water cycles using Colander, a professional textile detergent. And then I like to do a final hot water cycle using Millsoft, which is a professional fabric softener, and I get both Colander and Millsoft from Dharma Trading Company. Then I'll put it in the dryer and I'll iron it, and we'll come back and see the results. Well, here it is, guys. Here's our Colander Gravity Spiral after it's been washed and dried, and I think the shirt turned out pretty cool. And this is my first time using this color combination, and I think using the colors in general. I don't recall. They're very pretty colors. Now, I don't have a lot of flows like some of you have gotten on yours because I resisted adding that second layer of ice. You know, hindsight's 20/20, and I'm going to play around with it. I'm going to use different types of ice. I'm going to do dye under ice, dye over ice, different dye patterns, all kinds of stuff, because I do see great potential in playing around with this gravity stuff. Because as ice dyers, we're into it to see the color splits and the color flows. You know, that's what makes us feel happy, or at least that's why I do it. And so with the gravity, you do get to see a lot more of those color splits. So overall, I'm really happy with this shirt. It was a good jumping off point. My shirt looks completely different than Angela's. I'm pretty sure she did the dye over ice method, and that's where I'm going to go next with this and just see what happens. So what do you guys think? Please leave me some comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, leave a thumbs up, and click the bell and set it to all. That way you get notified of future uploads. And remember, have fun tie-dyeing!